video, we will discuss how to make and use attack outlines as you're preparing for your final exam. Do you need to make attack outlines for each class? The short answer is no. However, attack outlines can be a really helpful way of reviewing the material and preparing for the exam. First of all, what is an attack outline? An attack outline is a short version of your full outline. This is not a substitute for your full outline. So you would only make an attack outline after you've worked on a full outline based on your class notes. The attack outline would be a much shorter version, boiling down the really important and key pieces of what is in your full outline. Making an attack outline will help you review the material, condense the material, and give you another way of looking at the material, maybe from a different perspective. Let's first look at an example from a full outline. This section of a torts outline covers the topic of intentional torts, which includes assault, battery, false imprisonment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Under each intentional tort, the outline states the rule broken down into elements, and then some hypothetical fact patterns that the professor might have mentioned in class, and then the key cases that were covered in class about each of those intentional torts. Under assault, for instance, the rule states that an assault is where the defendant acts with intent to cause a harmful or offensive contact or imminent apprehension of that contact, and an imminent apprehension directly or indirectly results. The outline also includes a hypothetical that the professor might have given in class. It says, what if I'm a black belt in karate and a really big tough guy, and then a small guy comes up to me and he says he's going to punch me in the stomach. I am not afraid that he's going to actually hurt me. Can I sue for assault? And the answer to this hypothetical question is yes, because imminent apprehension does not mean fear. This hypo is important to include in your full outline because it helps explain the element of imminent apprehension, and the hypo may help you identify whether an imminent apprehension has occurred in a fact pattern that you see on the exam. Notice that under battery, the outline includes a quick summary of the Garrett versus Daly case. The summary in the full outline is just enough to provide an example of what a battery could look like, and it does not include extraneous detail like the procedural posture of the case or the parties' various arguments. All of this information is relevant as you are studying for the exam and should be included in your full outline. However, as part of studying, you may want to hone in on the really key pieces and think about memorizing and reworking them in a different way. This is where the attack outline comes in. The attack outline basically boils down these points into what is absolutely necessary. When determining what is absolutely necessary, think about what you really need from this material to answer an exam question. You need to identify the rule and then apply the rule to the facts on the exam. You likely don't need to restate your professor's hypotheticals or restate details from cases that you discussed in class. Although that information is helpful to your understanding of the material and thus should be in your full outline, the attack outline could just include the black letter law. So here, the attack outline just includes the elements of each of those intentional torts. You should break down the law in a way that is most helpful for you in your attack outline. So if it's easier to break the elements down into a list, you should absolutely write your attack outline in that way. Or if it's easier to have a sentence so that you can memorize it the same way that you plan to write it out on the exam, that is how you should construct your attack outline. There is no right way to make an attack outline. This is a study tool that you should use to maximize your score on the exam. Attack outlines can be beneficial if you have an open book exam because you can have your attack outline with you and you can utilize it to make sure that you are stating the rules correctly in your answer. And if your attack outline is much shorter than your full outline, it's going to be a lot easier to just flip through and get to the point in the attack outline that you absolutely need. Another great way to use an attack outline during an open book exam is to help with issue spotting. Because the attack outline is probably pretty short, you can quickly skim it to see if there are any issues that you might need to include in your exam answer. As you are studying, attack outlines are a great way to review the material. Instead of just looking at or reading your full outline, you are actively studying by reworking the material in the full outline into a shorter version for the attack outline. This is a great way to make sure that you understand the material and will also help with memorization. You can also use the attack outline to quiz yourself. Because it has less detail, you can look at the attack outline and see if you can fill in or restate some of that detail from memory. To recap, do you need to make an attack outline? No, no one needs an attack outline. It is important that you make a full outline, so this should never be a substitute for a full outline. But attack outlines are a great way to synthesize the material as you're reviewing and to keep everything organized for the exam.